Good afternoon. It's the 15th of April 2010. Up next is an interview with Alfred Britto, part of our Inspiring Mentor program. Stay tuned. Hi Alfie, thank you for coming to us today. Well, you are here a part of our Inspiring Mentor program in order to try and send a message across to the youth of today with your story. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
I was born in Lagos in Nigeria.
Okay. What was life like there?
Fast, furious, hectic, busy, but different. Very different. Very different to London. Not as organised. Certainly not as organised. Not as clinical. Not as many opportunities. Lots of differences. Lots and lots of differences. Lack of opportunities, which meant you had to work for everything. There was no state handout on everything, on anything at all actually. No state handout, so everything had to be yours, and if you didn't work, you were literally destitute. Yeah, very, very different.
Wow. So what parts of London have you lived in, besides the one you live in already?
Pretty much North London, really. Before Tottenham was Islington. Before Islington was briefly Warren Street, but mainly all based in North London, I suppose.
Okay, so where did you study then? School, college, university?
Well, if we go sort of chronologically backwards, did my teacher training with University of Greenwich, then going further back, did a master's at University of North London, did my first degree at University of Essex. Then secondary school was in Islington Sixth Form, and secondary school was in Tottenham, John Loughborough.
Okay, well, you've done quite a lot of studying in your life. Did you suffer any verbal or physical abuse from other kids, like any racism acts or bullying or anything like that?
Bullying? No, never. Whenever, if anything of such came about before it was quickly snuffed out by myself or friends. So physical? No. Got in a few scrapes, but it certainly wasn't down to racism. Verbal racist attacks, very few, very, very few and far between. One blatant one from a very old lady, but no, few and far between.
That's good to
really.
hear.
But I suppose when you live in a cosmopolitan area like North London, they tend to be few and far between.
That's good. Was your parents motivational at all towards you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Big moral compass. Big moral compass, my parents are. Always will be, really. Can't say anything more. They just, you hope the moral code in which you try and go by every day. Sometimes you fail, sometimes, and sometimes you pass, but what you try and do all the time is do your best to make them proud.
Yeah, I believe in that one as well, actually. Did they play any part in you becoming the person you are today?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, totally. You come from a working class background, and in an area like this, there are opportunities and chances to go off what you call the straight and narrow. There are plenty of distractions out there to take you from the right path. And like I said, what you need more than anything is the right moral compass, and that comes, well, with me, came from my parents, especially my dad. And with that moral compass, that basically influences you when you are, as an individual, when you have to make decisions. Should I go this way or should I go that way? When your parents are not there. It's that moral compass that basically guides you when you have to make your own individual decisions.
So would you say a lot of young people nowadays don't have a lot of attention from the parents that you got, and that's why they're probably behaving in such a negative way?
A combination of lack of attention from their parents, a lack of a moral compass, a lack of a social guidance. It's not just your parents that should tell you something is right or wrong. It's the community around you that should tell you things are right or wrong. Which is certainly what happens. If it wasn't just my dad that told me, it was if I was doing something silly. Old guy at the bus stop, the guy driving the bus, the guy at the tube station had no problems telling me I was being stupid. Now, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for all sorts of reasons. You get parents that will say, no, you can't talk to my child when someone is only trying to put their child straight. So, all sorts of reasons why it doesn't happen. So there's a social cohesion which they're lacking. As I said, it could be also the family unit, not just having a dual parent, just what sort of family How stable is the family unit around in terms of uncles, aunts, grandparents? How suited are they to being parents and family members that can provide guidance and right social and moral structure that everyone needs?
So you lived in the UK since 80s, 90s, is it?
Pretty much permanently since the 80s, yeah.
So you've seen how much London has changed since then in the last 20 years?
Yep, certainly, yep.
Yeah.
There's changes in terms of, obviously the most recent one has been the Eastern Europeans. But yeah, there's certainly been some changes in terms of.
I could agree with that.
In terms of our more and ethnic diversity.
So, going back to your education, how did you get the job that you have today?
I trained as a teacher for 2 years, based with University of Greenwich, and at the end of just before the end of my teaching qualification, I applied for a science position in Loughton, in a secondary school in Loughton, Reading Valley. Got the job, was there for 9 years, worked my way up, and then after 9 years, applied to become a head of science at my current school, Heathcote in Chingford. Unfortunately, again, I got that job, and I've been there for, this is my 3rd year.
Wow, you've got a pretty full CV there. So, you seem like quite a fit guy. How do you balance your usual 9 to 5 with training at the gym and socialising and general stress of life?
Sometimes with extreme difficulty, but again, with it, as with anything, everyone tries to, everyone that works in London, I believe, has a hard job. So, and in order to keep away the stresses of work and things that come with work in terms of paying the bills and just keeping up with the Joneses sometimes, which is an unfortunate trap of London life, you've got to sometimes find an escapism. One of my escapism is making time, and it is literally making that time sometimes to do a bit of training. It just keeps, other than just keeping fit, it keeps me, as I said, it keeps me refreshed and just gets my mind off things. You remove you find yourself escaping from work. You find yourself escaping from the daily chores of having to keep up with this bill, and as I said, just sometimes feeling as if you're chasing your tail. So it's making a bit of time. Sometimes it really doesn't take that much time. It's about 5 hours in a week, which isn't really too much.
So that's your comfort zone, basically, going to the gym, working out, socialising with some of the guys.
It's not necessarily a comfort zone. It is literally trying to keep that equilibrium, everything that makes that equilibrium. Part of it is the training, part of it sometimes is again making time to speak to other members of the family and friends. Part of it is finding a good book to read, and it's just part of what should be, what I think makes up my equilibrium.
So what motivates you when you're in the gym? Because I've been told that you train quite hard.
It's not motivation, it's just an essential advice that I've been given many a times by my late gran, which is whatever you do, try and do it to the best of your ability. Obviously knowing your limitations. That's it really. There's no motivation, there's nothing. I don't compete for anything. Not looking to try and be stronger than anyone or faster than anyone. It is whatever you do, try and do it to the best of your ability, and like I said, but obviously do it knowing your limitations, but not necessarily limiting yourself.
That's really good. That's wise words there. Is there any advice you wish to give any young people out there, knowing you've been in their situation before?
Work hard. We're all not going to be lottery winners. Work hard, and pretty much most of the time you will get what your hard work lays down for you. And that is pretty much it. And whatever you do, like I said, do it to the best of your ability. And then after that, you just make sound decisions based on yourself. Never make any decisions based on anyone else. Make sound decisions of, it's just hard work. Just work hard. But on the flip side of work hard, I don't say on the flip side, on the other side of working hard, enjoy your rewards of hard work as well. So once you work hard, you don't have to look over your shoulders at whatever rewards you get, because you know you've worked hard for those rewards, and enjoy those rewards. Absolutely enjoy those rewards, because you don't need to think when someone knocks on your door, when someone rings your phone, you don't have to think, how did I get that reward? You can sit down calmly and totally enjoy it.
Very inspirational words there. Well, Alfie, thank you for coming in today. You've been a very big help.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Take
time.
care.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.